and there are men in the box, and it comes for Pablo Hernandez, and Pablo Hernandez scores a goal for Leeds United. Oh, goal, a goal, a goal. Yeboah, on he goes. Oh! Even by his standards, breathtakingly brilliant.
Hang on a minute, here's Nelson, can he win it? Yes he can! Leeds United are on their way to Wembley! Johnny Howson again!
And the ball's over Brown, and this is Beckford, he just ran away from him, but he'll still get a strike in and goal! And score at the Stretford end for Leeds United! And it doesn't get any better than that for a Leeds centre-forward.
Good ball, Becchio well placed! Leeds United draw level on aggregate!
Well, the roof has just been lifted off Elland Road. What an incredible noise we are witnessing here.
Well, hello everybody, you're very welcome along to LeedsBros for Talking Points, and Leeds United have bet West Ham 2-1 at Elland Road to take all 3 points in Friday night football. Good performance from Leeds United. We're here to break it all down and get through all the talking points. I'm joined as always by the brother Dylan and Jam as well. Before we do get into the video, guys, please make sure you're dropping a like on the video and of course hit that subscribe button as well. We'll go around the room and say good evening to the lads first. Jam, how are you keeping, bud?
All good, mate. All good. Just done a feed now for Mason. He's just settled down now. So you've actually saved me from Strictly Come Dancing. So thanks. Really appreciate that.
Don't be lying. You have it on record.
Got to record for later. Thanks.
And Dillo, how are you, pal? You rode solo on the watch along last night as I was over in Leeds. So what did you think of it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everyone that came in. Thanks to everyone that did comment in and kept me going. You know, I was a bit nervous, but we got through it in the end, and Leeds got through it with 3 points, so I'm delighted. Saturday night, it's a bank holiday over here in Ireland, so I'm on the peak. I'm at peak at life right now.
Yeah, me too, lads, me too. Let's get through a couple of the comments. We've loads of people in the building here tonight saying hello. Martin Nolan is here. He says, come on, let's be having you. We are here, mate. Thanks for popping in, Martin. Stephen Bourne is here, says, all right, lads, brilliant win yesterday and much needed 3 points. Absolutely, 100%. Helen Walker says, just love the video of your little lad's reaction to see inside of Elland Road for the very first time. It was unbelievable. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's across the LeedsBros socials. Yeah, unbelievable. Just classy in his little face seeing Elland Road open up in front of him. Stephen Bourne says, what an amazing day yesterday, Darren. Trip to Elland Road, I'll never forget. It was amazing. Up there with one of the best trips I've ever had to Leeds. Just quality. Really, really good. Scott says, evening lads, 3 points on a Friday night equals stress-free weekend. Get in. That is exactly the first thing I said to Stephen after the game. I said, at least now we can relax for the weekend and watch the rest of the football. Thank you to your kindness to Sam, Stephen and Corey. I do have to say a massive thank you to Stephen and Corey. Travelled over to Leeds with the two of them this weekend, and yeah, they just were so good, my little boy Sam, and yeah, friends for life, just absolutely quality. Russ says, evening lads, evening all. Thanks Russ, thanks for popping out. Darren Daly's here, said, good evening lads, all good result yesterday, fantastic result, much needed. Lynette is here, she says, evening lads. Rusty Tin Can is in here as well, said, evening lads. Loads of people in the building, guys, so good to see us all in here. Jam, we'll come straight across to you. Obviously, all 3 points for Leeds United last night. We'll start right back at the very start. 3 minutes in, Brendan Aronson gave us the lead. Just the start we wanted. We spoke about it in the match preview, myself and Dylan, is the first goal is going to be critical in this game. Leeds United got it.
Well, I've got to admit, boys, I missed the first 3 minutes. I literally missed the first few, and I had to watch it back because basically I had Mason on me, and then I was trying to find. Well, actually, I was watching through Sky Sports, obviously.
Sky
but, I was
TV.
trying to
Visual
basically
radio.
watching that visual radio and all that kind of stuff. So I seen that I had a goal update on my phone saying we went 1-0 up, so brilliant. So I watched the goal, but after that I got the thing. But I got to say, lads, I mean, everything that was lacking last week, we seem to have an abundance this week. Talk about energy and motivation and getting up straight away. That was kind of what I was hoping for all week. In my mind, I was thinking, come on, Leeds, just get at them straight away because these are fragile. If we can go 1-0 up very quick, then, as you've seen, Rodon then follows with the second, which is a great header. And to be fair, you know, Brendan Aronson touching on the first one very quickly. He's in the right place at the right time. is a good overall play. You know, we go forward with pace and ferocity, and this is what the result is. I mean, first half, it could have easily been 4 or 5, boys. If I'm being completely honest with you, you know, I thought West Ham really were lucky to go in at just 2-0 down. I thought everything that we did, we went forward at pace, and just exactly what we was missing in the Burnley game. And then the second half, I got to be honest, boys. The second half, I probably just find a bit of balance. I probably would have just literally liked to have us just to push forward a little bit more. Maybe then, like 70th minute or so forth, which you know, Farke likes to do, drop back a little bit more because I feel like we could have gone for the jugular. As I said that commented on Dillo's live stream yesterday, and I feel like we need to put the foot on the jugular now and really give it to him. But 3 points is 3 points. You know, Farke, he deserves massive credit, and also we want to give a big shout out to Brendan Aronson, because I got to admit, boys, that's probably his best game I've seen him in the Leeds shirt. And that's I know it's easy to say that after last night's game, but he was really impressive. He actually looked like he actually looked really good, like beating his men and running forward. And I mean, he goes to pass Suchek and Pakatov. That one when he hit the crossbar. I mean, that was great to see. But I want to flip it back on you guys. Why don't you give us a little lowdown of what the first game was like for Sam and stuff? I know you've done the videos, but give us a bit more detail.
Yeah, unreal. Like, it was obviously, we flew over obviously Friday morning, and the game then was that night, but it felt like 3 days in one, lads. We done so much, but he just loved us. Obviously, we were staying in the Clayton Hotel in City Walk in Leeds, and I'm sure the people from Leeds know it. And as soon as we got there, we rocked up straight outside, and the West Ham team coach was there, of course, so we kind of knew we'd pop into him. So naturally, we decided to get a picture with him. I won't say what he was saying just before he seen the team coach here. So if you see the security lads there in the background, he was telling them that West Ham are shy just before we went into the hotel. So that was very good fun, that one, lads. And then we just had a cracking day. We walked on down to Elland Road. We went to see obviously my dad's stone. Everyone knows me. My dad passed away, so we went to see my dad's stone. So we was delighted to see his granddad's stone there as well. And yeah, just fantastic day. Obviously got a picture at Bremner there as well. He wanted to go get a picture at Billy, and then inside the ground then as well. He was just absolutely buzzing, lads. He just couldn't get the smile off his face when we got into Elland Road. It was just pure quality. And then of course, being the typical dad, when Marching On Together came on, I just couldn't stop crying, lads. Just absolutely beaming with pride and joy, seeing the smile on his face. And he belted out Marching On Together, gave it absolute socks. But yeah, just a wonderful day. And then the start of the game, I just couldn't get any better, Jam, like what you said, like a nice early goal from Brendan Aronson. And again, like seeing his little face, like, and the roar of Elland Road when the first goal went in, and I knew then by the look of him, I was like, that's when Leeds had him. Leeds had him at that goal when he looked around the ground and just seeing all the scarves and the roar, and I just looked at him, I was like, that's it. It's like, that is Leeds is in him now. He loved it. And then the road on header then a few minutes later, I before I even had a chance to grab him, he already had me by the leg, so celebrating Rodon's header as well. So it was just class. Yeah, but going back to the game, like, it was just a fantastic start from Leeds, the start that we wanted. After that, I felt like we took our foot off the gas a little bit, but I don't think it's probably solely down to us. Obviously, West Ham had the injury, and we had the 13 minutes in the first half. It felt like that stoppage really took the sting out of Leeds there, because I agree with you, Jam. It felt very Championship Leeds, and I don't mean it as in quality-wise, but when we were blowing teams away, it felt very much like Stoke-esque or Cardiff-esque. We were just blowing them away. We were all over them. Elland Road was raucous as well. We were on top of them. I felt like West Ham couldn't breathe, and I felt like that stoppage really stemmed Leeds' flow in the game. Kind of the atmosphere kind of died down a little bit then after that. And then, of course, they were unlucky as well with the offside goal as well. From where I was directly in line with it, and I knew it was tight. I knew it was very, very tight, but luckily it wasn't given. But yeah, really, really good first half performance, Dylan. Obviously, you were doing it on the watch along. But what way did you see it?
Yeah, to be honest, I actually thought it was a very good game, a good performance from Leeds. The first 15 minutes were spot on. The high energy pressing, and we actually took our chances for once. And obviously, Aronson's goal settled everyone down. I thought Okafor was unlucky, but because of the keeper slapping it, it was an easy top in for Aronson. Settled everyone down, and it settled me down. I couldn't believe it on the stream. And then obviously Rodon's header, which is a proper centre-half goal, and I know Jam is smiling at that because he's a Welsh man, and it's great to see him bringing that to his game. He seems to be doing it more regularly now and getting involved, whether it's scoring goals or, just making the right movements. He's just starting to really, really grab his position in this team for Leeds, and he's just making an impact for me overall, lads. I'm really loving Rodon at the minute.
Yeah.
But I also love how we managed the game after that. West Ham, they had a bit of a spell, especially in the second half. It was kind of annoying at times. We just seemed to sit back in and not necessarily go for the jugular, but get control of the ball. Every time we got it, it was getting recycled back to Perry, and he was just hooving up the pitch, trying to hit DCL, and he couldn't get it under control at times. But we were defensively solid as a unit, and we didn't crumble under any pressure. I know they scored, but I mean, throughout the whole game, we didn't, if that makes sense, collectively. And that's something we've kind of been missing at times. So just a bit of composure, really, to see the game out. And then, to be honest with you, I think Elland Road played a big part in that. It was rocking. I had it on through the headphones, the noise of the place, and it was bouncing. Every time I seen, if the ball even went out of play or whatever, you could just hear it singing constantly. So
Quality. Really,
it's
really
what you'd
good
expect
Elland Road,
Friday night under the lights and all. But I mean, this is what you want. Not that West Ham aren't a good team, but I mean, we clearly knew from set pieces. Me and you talked about before we came
they're
on.
shite. They're shite.
No.
They are.
I mean, like, they're kind of we kind of knew how to shut them up. If I'm being honest, and that was kind of it from set pieces and. Yeah,
we said that, didn't we, in the preview? We said that in the preview, didn't we? About set pieces was going to be a massive thing for Leeds, and not going direct, but going a little bit more kind of at them and kind of cut throat, and it worked. And for the both of the goals is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, it worked, and then we said, we said in one of the videos as well about the midfield starting to dictate the game, and we need to keep an eye on Bucheta and Jared Bowen. And every time Jared Bowen got on the ball, lads, for me, I was just nervous. He was always looking to create something, and it always kind of pulled off, obviously, without the ball going in the back of the net. But
he's a danger.
Initially, then he gets the ball, and somehow then West Ham score. And I just knew, I said it on the stream, need to keep him smothered. And we just didn't concentrate in that certain moment, but pleased overall.
Yeah, I think so as well, Dylan. Look, as the first half performance, as I thought was really, really good. And then obviously the second half, when the lads come out, then you see Okafor being taken off at halftime, which I kind of expected, because there was murmurs going around that Farke was only going to give him a half, that he was only half fit for the game. So when you have the 13 minutes added on in the first half as well, it was a lot of football from Okafor. And not that we went negative in the first half, but it felt like we sat back in. I thought our game plan was going to sit back in, and we invited them on, which I thought was probably the wrong way to go about things, if I'm honest. Probably the only downside to a really good performance yesterday, but probably goes hand in hand with Gabby going off and James Justin going off to that side. Then you have Harrison coming on. Naturally, you're going to lose that attacking threat down that left-hand side, even though at times he was decent going forward. But we seemed to sit back in and avoid pressure on, and a lot of it we were happy enough to kind of soak up, because they didn't get much. But if you kind of do that for a whole half, 45 minutes of football, there's a chance that West Ham could put the ball in the back of the net. And then it was obviously very nervous then towards the end of the game, which it shouldn't have really been like that. Leeds should have really went and got a third and a fourth, because they were really poor, lads. I do have to say, they were a very, very bad Premiership side, and if they don't get their act together, they're definitely going down. Said it to Jam before we came on stream as well, speaking to a couple of West Ham fans in the McDonald's across the road from Elland Road after the game, and yeah, they're certain that they're going down. They're certain that they're going down. They can see Nuno being sacked in the next while. They're not happy with the board. They're not happy with the ground. Just everything. It's just, it's kind of rotten there, and they can kind of see themselves spiraling. One lad I was speaking to was saying that he can see themselves getting relegated and going down to League One. He really thinks it's that bad at West Ham at the minute, but they're a really poor side. So that's probably the only side of it, but I can't kind of flip-flop on what I said in the preview with you, Dillo, is that I would take a shy performance in Leeds United taking all 3 points, but overall it was a really good performance, really good bounce back after back-to-back losses as well. To take all 3 points yesterday was the only thing that we had to do yesterday, and we done it, Jam.
Yeah, did you know what as well, boys? What really surprised me with West Ham, they looked unfit. I don't know what it was. It just seemed like they just looked. If you look at the Brendan Aronson run, there's about 3 or 4 of them, and they're just jogging.
Yeah,
they're not even breaking into a sprint or anything. Whether that's
Souček's legs was gone as well in midfield. Souček, he was bad, lads. I think he was really knackered as a footballer, to tell you.
Yeah, but then if it's credits again, that's one thing I will is obviously massive credit to Farke. We do seem we got a real fit squad. You do seem to run all day, and they'll put that effort and desire in until the 95th minute. You've really got to give credits where credit's due. But I have got a question for you both, and quite a few standout players yesterday. But who would you say stood out for you and Dillo will come to you first. Or
Yeah,
Dillo,
I think, to be honest with you, I think it has to be the man that I've been slaying an awful lot about, Jam, and that's that Brendan Aronson. You know, the American boy. I just think he was absolutely brilliant. He was full of energy. His pressing was non-stop. You know, the goal itself gave him a lot of confidence. You could see, you see that he's starting to look like, I wouldn't say his old self, because let's be honest, his old self wasn't unbelievable either. But I mean, he's starting to kind of be more confident in himself and start to believe that he needs to be a part of this team. And that's all I want to see. Yeah? And I never once said, just because I know people probably got that opinion about it when I talk about Brendan Aronson, is that I never once said that he doesn't try. He does try. He always tries. It's just a going forward bit of it. But he was sharp yesterday, lads. The ball direct, and he was just causing problems all over the place. I have to be honest with you.
he was
If you move on,
fantastic,
then
lads. He was brilliant. Even his off the ball stuff was brilliant yesterday.
I have I've three, to be honest with you, Jam. I'll just go through them real quick. That man Joe Rodon again, you know, an absolute rock at the back. The proper goal that he scored as well with the head, and it was about another split second quicker. It would have deflected off Ampadu and probably would have been cleared. So it was great as well to see that it didn't happen, you know. And that's what you want from a centre back, that he's brave, commanding and leading the line. He's been so consistent lately, and deserves a lot of credit, and yeah, really pleased with him. And then lastly, I'm going to have to say Lucas Perry. I think he made a huge save that kept us in control. His handling of the game was solid, and he looks more comfortable with the defence in front of him as well. So just praise. I'm really, really impressed.
Yeah, class. Yeah, Jam, I agree with Dylan as well. First of all, I have to give a bit of plaudits to Daniel Farke as well, because I didn't think he'd change it as much as he did, bringing Perry back in, and obviously taking Stroke out and Bial coming in and Tanaka coming in as well, and going with Okafor instead of Harrison as well. I thought it worked really well. It was a really, really ballsy couple of changes from Farke, because I certainly didn't think he was going to do it. So plaudits do have to go to him for that. And I thought Bial looked really good, lads. His reading of the game was fantastic. He looks a small bit rusty, but I think we can allow him. That's understandable, because he obviously hasn't played much football lately for Leeds. But he looks really good, looks really commanding, can read the game very well. And then what Dylan said, I was right along the side of the Perry one, because I was right in line with the post. Lads, it was a cracking save in real time there. Now, obviously on TV, it was a really good save as well. But real time, that shot came at him with force from Jared Bowen. It was a cracking save. And people were saying he could have caught it. There was no way. He parried it down. But his reaction then to flick it away, I think Paqueta was coming in to stop it. Was almost going to be a certain goal. It was fantastic. I thought he was really, really good. And that was probably one when I seen the lineup coming out. I'm like, I hope he has a good game today, because if he doesn't, then the heat's going to be back on Farke then for dropping Carl Darlow. It's always going to be damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I was delighted to see Lucas Perry have a good game yesterday. But yeah, head and shoulders, I think, above everybody. Obviously, delighted Rodon as well, scoring a header, adding goals to his game. But Brendan Aronson, lads, was absolutely brilliant yesterday. He was everywhere. And there's one thing I do have to say about him, apart from his goals and his shot off the crossbar, which is obviously fantastic. He was moving the ball a lot quicker. Yes, he wasn't holding on to it as much as we usually see him. We usually see him when he gets the ball at the back of the goal. He usually 1, 2, 3 tries to hold off his man. And let's be honest, he hasn't got the frame to do that. It was one touch go, one touch deliver into the box. And we were saying that, Dylan, about him, weren't we, that he needs to do things a little bit quicker. And I listened to his post-match in the airport while I was waiting for the flight home today, and he spoke about that all this week. He's been working on his finishing as well, and you can see that in him. He was very sharp yesterday. So delighted from him, lads. But now for me, he's after raising the bar for himself. So I expect more out of Brendan Aronson now that we know that he has that level in him. Look at West Ham, obviously aren't fantastic, but he just needs to get that consistency into his game as well. So really good, delighted for him. Should have had the one off the crossbar as well. Cracking little run.
Can we just go? Sorry for coming across that. Can we just go back to Lucas Perry, lads? All joking aside, did he get a hair transplant?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Because he needs to point me in the right direction, that's for sure. Someone posted on X saying the photo that Leeds released when he signed for Leeds, you know, the hairline.
I've seen it.
And then he gets injured, and all of a sudden he's away for a couple of weeks. He comes back and like full head of hair. Sign me up.
Yeah, it's class, yeah, class, I have to say. Brilliant. Yeah, but lads, West Ham then obviously as well, look at their Premier League, so I expect a little bit more out of them. They're very poor. Really, really poor, to be honest with you. But their fans, they'll have to give plaudits to their fans as well. Don't know if you kind of heard much over the TV, but there was a good bit of banter going on between the South Stand and the West Ham fans about them, selling their soul for that shithole that they're in and the board out and stuff like that as well. So I have to give plaudits to them because they sold out their away end as well on a Friday night, and good banter as well with them after the game as well. Stephen met a couple of West Ham fans over there as well, and they were just a joy to be around as well. So they have to give a massive shout out to them as well. But yeah, well, fear for them. Probably for me, lads, probably the worst side I've seen at Elland Road in a long time, and that's even going back to the championship. They were just poor. They didn't really offer much, obviously, apart from the goal, Dylan. That was it. But yeah, like with Leeds, obviously overall, it was a massive 3 points for us, Jam, to get them. I think that kind of gets the monkey off our back a little bit. It felt like we were backs against the walls. It felt like that in Elland Road yesterday. That's why I think it was raucous. That's why I think we were up against it yesterday. But now we look forward to Brighton after getting the 3 points, and it feels like the pressure's off now a little bit going into that game.
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I said, I think yesterday was like sort of must win, wasn't it? Because if you look at the fixtures after now coming up, you think, oh God, it's looking quite daunting. But what I will say is if we can put that sort of type of performance as you did in the first half moving forward, which I know is impossible, you're not going to be able to do throughout the whole season, but we got a very good chance of staying up if we can get that level of performance. I know it's West Ham. I know the opponent isn't the best.
Yeah.
But if you can put that performance moving forward and then just that determination, and because you can see that again, another season thing for me, boys, is the squad does seem really together, doesn't it? They all seem to be fighting for the shirt, and you can see them in the tunnel after the game. They're all hugging and high fiving and all that kind of thing. It's little fine margins, but all of these things, they all work hard for each other, and it's just a credit to see. Yeah, because that was missing last week, and that's what I was upset with last week, was just the lack of desire and lack of determination to get us back into the game. But you could see yesterday that they were all in it for each other and fighting for the shirt. And I always say it, as a fan, that's all you can ask for. It's just having those 11 players out on the pitch, putting big performances in. Even James Justin, lads, yesterday, thought he was very good, very comfortable when he came on, and I wasn't sure on him when we signed him, but it just goes to show if Bogle or Goodmanson, if one of them, which obviously Goodmanson did yesterday, if one of them go down, I'm more than happy for James Jefferson to slot in either right or left because he looks really comfortable in the league and he did nothing stupid, which is great. So I did go off on the tangent there, boys, but the thing is, I think this Brighton game now, again, it's going to be a difficult game. It is going to be difficult, but they lost 4-2 tonight, so their confidence will be sort of lowered, and I don't see why we can't. If we can set up right and set up in the right way and try and get at them and try and play with a little bit of no fear, I do think we get something out of the game, whether that's a draw or not. I'll take it all day long. But yeah, really, hopefully now this will sort of kickstart us now and give us a little bit of confidence moving forward, and a couple of big games now. I would like to see us get 3 points out of one of those games, whether it's Nottingham Forest or Brighton again, just before the international break, just to give us a little bit of a breathing space, personally.
I just want to go back there to what you were saying there about, the monkey off the back sort of thing. And I'm not trying to be negative here, but it seems to be we have the win now and we go into Brighton, and if we don't get a result from that, and then obviously the next game, if we don't get a result from that, we're kind of back into the same situation we were before the West Ham game, where we're all kind of saying, the pressure's starting to pile on. And I think we have to just pick up points where we can, in the sense of, we know December is going to be a rough couple of games coming in there. The expectations are probably low, to be honest, but I can't fall into this narrative of just kind of saying, we're one or two losers of Farke, job on the line, more or less. And I don't really want to think like that. I've seen loads of things on Twitter. That's more or less why I'm bringing it up. People are saying one win doesn't define, just certain people of the section of the fan base doesn't define Farke's future, more or less. We still have a lot of games to go, but I could understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, kind of like, we won, man. Like, be happy, like, do you know what I mean? You're kind of just.
I think that's where we're at, though, Dylan. Like that, like, obviously, I think the expectation at Leeds is obviously good. That's what makes us like a fan base like no other. But I think this season, Dylan, like, I think we not tamper our expectations a little bit. We still have to remember where we're after coming from. So, like what you said there, like, if we're after winning against West Ham, we stop the rot after 3 losses in a row. gives us another bit of breathing space in that bottom three, and that's all we have to look at, lads, is keep that gap between that bottom three. That's all we have to do this season. So, look, I'm not saying if we go down to Brighton and pick up a point, lads, that would feel like a win for me. I think that would be fantastic. No matter what way the game goes, would be absolutely brilliant down there. And you look to Forest still now as one of them teams that we could possibly get a couple of points. But I think, like, if worse comes to worse, then you just go again and you just pick up as many points as you possibly can. Obviously, that's the obvious thing to do, but I think it was a really important yesterday, because yesterday felt like the first real time this season where it was backs against the wall. It was the first real time where there was kind of a little bit of negativity starting to kind of swirl around the club, more so on Daniel Farke. And I think the lads answered it yesterday, and Jam touched on it there, Dylan. Every single one of them players are playing for Daniel Farke, and what I like about it now is that them players that came in yesterday, that Daniel Farke made the changes, your Perry, Bial, Tanaka, Okafor obviously coming back into the team as well. They all made a statement. James Justin as well. Jam touched on it for the injured Gabby as well. Everyone that came on yesterday had a really good game. And that's what you want, Dylan, now, because now we have a chance to do that rotation, that side of the game where we can rotate the squad, where we know the players are coming in, are gonna do a job. Now, look at, hopefully Gabby is okay. He was hobbling around, holding us back for a while. For the first kind of murmurs that I've heard, that it was a bit of a bruised back that he has, that he got a bang on the back, and it was just basically just deadened. That's why he went off.
He fell onto
hopefully,
Bial. That's what it was. His boot kind of went into him.
So hopefully Okafor is okay. Oh, well, supposedly what happened, what I've heard from Okafor today, and again, Dylan, it's hard because you have people on Twitter saying this. So, supposedly before the game, what we heard is that Okafor was only going to have a half to about 50 minutes in him. So, it was always Farke's thinking to take him off around the 55th minute. And then obviously, half time ran over with the 13 minutes added on. So, that's why he done the change at half time as well. But look, I do have to say, Dylan, with Harrison, look, you know what you're going to get. You can expect it. Like, I wasn't expecting Harrison to come on to do the exact same output of what Okafor did. They're two totally different players. Like, we know that. But I'd rather that type of change than, you know, starting with Harrison, you know, and having kind of no attacking threat. At least, you know, you can change it. You don't mind him kind of coming on as well. And obviously Dan James coming on the last few minutes as well. So I'm positive about the whole thing now at the minute. It's really after shifting for me, because we're starting to get these injured players back, which is obviously what we all wanted, especially in the wing position, the position that we were already short in, creative-wise and personnel-wise. So it's good to see these players coming back as well. Not many people are talking about Dominic Calvert-Lewin last night again. I thought he led the line fantastically well for Leeds. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you see when you're in the ground, lads, that you don't see when you're on TV. There was a period of time where I was just watching Calvert-Lewin and how he was occupying the runs he was making to make space for other people to run in. It's them things you don't really see on TV, obviously, you know, when you're looking at the camera and that. But he was really good again yesterday. Again, the small, like, little criticism. I do think we need bodies around him a little bit more. The times that the ball was coming up to him, you know, our men were too far away from, 10, 12 yards away from. We need to get people a little bit closer when we do decide to go a little bit long to cover. So that's probably just a small little criticism on that side of it. But overall, Dylan, that's what we wanted. 3 points was a big thing yesterday. We got the performance in the second half. Or the first half. The second half, as I said, it felt like we took our foot off the accelerator a little bit, which annoyed a couple of people, around the ground, because I think if Leeds had continued in the way that we were going, we could have easily pushed probably 4 or 5 past them, lads. So what can you do? It's Daniel Farke, risk averse, isn't it, Jamie?
That's what. Sorry,
yeah, that's the thing. Go on, mate.
Like, what did you actually think, honestly, about Bial?
I liked him, Dylan. I liked him. I thought he read the game very well. I really do. Now, like, as I said, I don't know if that's him at his peak level now. I'm giving him a lot of slack, because obviously he hasn't played a lot of football. He did look a little bit rusty. His reading of the game is very well, but I mean, his movement, he just looked like a little bit kind of rigid. But I do think that is down from not a lot of game time. But I was actually very impressed with him, Dylan. Him and Rodon for their first game. I thought they were absolutely solid. Again, it's things that you don't see on TV. How they both kind of cover each other. They seemed very well in sync for centre back pairing that haven't played with each other. They were very much comfortable with each other. They were well able to cover each other. You could see that when one was going, the other was filling back in. They were well in tandem, so that was obviously class to see as well. But yeah, I really like him, Dylan. And again, this is what we want now. It's up to Pascal Struijk to up his game now to try and get back into this team, and it's only a good thing. We can't have favourites. It needs to be all about performances. Jam, I have got a question for you that I have noted down here. Ampadu, decided he was Lionel Messi last night. He picked up the ball around midfield and just went. He was gone, and it was actually funny at the time because he went on a run, cuts back in on his left foot, and all of Elland Road was shoo, and he shot, and as he shot miles wide, well off target, you could see him a bit of a giggle, and all of Elland Road was just pissing themselves laughing. But Ethan Ampadu for a minute got a bit of a nosebleed moment.
Well, I didn't realise. I had to look at the screen again. I didn't realise it was Ampadu because I mean, you would have thought it was Tanaka the way he drove that ball forwards. And,
Yeah, it was brilliant.
I think it was one of them. We kind of got to the end, and I think he kind of got a bit scared and thought, "No, you just swipe my foot at it and just see what happens." Because I just think that's probably not his biggest strength for his game is his shooting. Let's be honest, he's not the best shooter of the ball. But again, I thought he was. I thought he was brilliant. Again, Ampadu yesterday. I really do think he offers us something in midfield. I think we're a different animal with Ampadu in the middle. Call me biased, but I just think we're a lot more cool. We're a lot more calmer. And again, the week before last week, I thought he wasn't very good. But this week again, this is why he's in the team because he gives us a little bit of reassurance in midfield and that kind of thing, which is great. And I've got a question for you boys. Not sure if it's a talking point, but probably won't sort of steal the headlines. But what are your thoughts on the ref? Just out of curiosity.
The ref, I thought he relied a lot on his linesman. There was a couple of decisions in the ground where, especially when Somerville in the first half, the ball was going out and it was like a bit of pinball and you could see it was clearly Leeds' ball and he kind of gave it Leeds' way and he was the closest man to it. He was directly right in front of, probably about 5 yards away from the ball, and he gave it as a Leeds throw. And the linesman who's far down the other end, right in front of the West Ham fans, who obviously only covers that half of the pitch, flagged it to be a West Ham throw-in, and he overruled his own decision to go with the linesman, which was, and like it kind of left because I was in the northwest corner, and I kind of got that kind of side of the stadium a little bit, kind of like what's going on there. We could all see clear as day it was a late. Now look, it's only a throw-in, but I felt like he was relying on his linesman more than what he should have. He should have really kind of been gone with his decisions. And then the VAR, the stoppage as well for their goal, lads, as well. It took way too long, lads. Way too long. And that was obviously a lot to deal with the stoppage time, obviously the injury as well. And then that stoppage down for that as well. Like, it should be a split second thing, lads. It took far too long to try and make that decision. And I know football is fine lines and it can go either way, but for me, it just took well too long to get the decision, obviously the correct decision in the end. But yeah, should have been a little bit quicker. But yeah, look, Jam, I think we kind of come to expect this from referees nowadays, don't we? With the way that the game is going, is that it feels like the onus is after being taken away from them, and probably the authority is being taken away from them, the personality is being taken away from referees. Now at the minute is that, yeah, it's more technology is reffing the game, and he's kind of just there to blow the whistle in time, and then if he gets his decision right, then he obviously has the backup of his linesman and that. But yeah, I just think you get that nowadays. Dillo, what did you think of the ref yesterday?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't like referees. They just deal me out in. 9 times out of 10 they get it wrong. Look, no, he was all right, to be fair. You know, he let a few go, especially in favour for Leeds. But there was one or two we were kind of looking at. I think it was Ampadu. Yeah, it was Ampadu. It was someone put up. It was Paqueta done something. You could see Ampadu going over protesting the referee, and he was giving it, and then I don't know. I think it could have been for the offside goal that he scored. But I don't know. I kind of agree with what he said there, Darren. It's like the personality side of it that they can't really show it. But like, Ampadu was kind of explaining it to him, and he's just folded, like completely. Like he didn't seem like he was the dominated referee in the park, if that makes sense.
He didn't have control.
He didn't have much control. Didn't have control of the game, did he, at all? I mean, the reason why I asked that question, boys, is because Paqueta, I felt Paqueta was just an idiot all the time. And whenever Paqueta fell on the floor, it was free kick. And I was just like, this is just ridiculous now. That's
and
why
you could see then after that, Somerville start trying to do it as well. Now, we'll speak about Somerville because we thought he was bad, lads. I don't know whether the pressure was on him coming back to Elland Road, but he didn't offer anything. But there was one time as well down the side as well where he kind of let the ball go through his legs trying to get past Bogle. Bogle literally just came behind him, gave him a nudge, and he threw himself to the ground. And after that, then they were trying to buy free kicks then after that as well. But again, I think it's the players as well. It's the way football is kind of ref nowadays as well, which is obviously we hate to see that kind of side of it. But I just agree. It felt like he didn't have really kind of any control of the game. It felt like he was letting his linesmen and the VAR kind of control the game from, which is probably the way refereeing is going in the English game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let's get through a couple of the comments here, lads, because loads of comments at the flying in there. Mark says, I'll be there at Brighton, live 10 minutes from their ground. Been to every Leeds game they haven't played there. Yeah, I was only about to say that. Well, you obviously haven't seen them win that much there, Mark, but hopefully it has to turn at some stage, doesn't it? Bang on, Mark. I do believe that we have at least 5 points or maybe 6 points off if we had addressed our attacking options. I think so as well, because we are creating a lot of opportunities. All the stats are there. If you look it up, the chances Leeds are creating, we're just not putting the ball in the back of the net. We did on Friday night. We just need to keep doing that a lot more regularly. Rusty Tin Can says, any news on Gabby? Didn't look good. He was hobbling around holding us back for a few minutes before he went off. Yeah, I think it's just a bang, and again, hopefully it is just a bit of a bruise and he's back for Brighton. But if not, James Justin has to come in and do what the rest of them do and get that short. Stephen Bourne says, we're one or two players away from being a very comfortable Premiership team, but there is a brilliant team spirit there, and hopefully that will get us enough points through till January, and then we can add as well. Agree, me and Stephen spoke about that as well, that you can't see the camaraderie. Jam, you mentioned it as well. You can see there's a lot of togetherness in this team. You could see it at full time as well, just if we had added that little bit of more of an attacking threat. Danny Rumsey's here. He says, big up you three bros, hope you're well. You too, brother, thanks for popping in. Aronson given the official man of the match and well deserved, and I don't think you can knock him for that, Jam, can you? Look, I know Rodon had a fantastic game, but just the performance Aronson put in, it's fully deserved, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, literally, again, I'm probably one of his biggest critics, actually, with Brendan Aronson. I think, in past weeks I've made my feelings known about what I think of him, but literally hats off yesterday. Like, he was absolutely brilliant. Everything off the ball, the pressure he put on the ball, which again, he works hard defensively anyway. But I actually felt like yesterday he really did sort of offer a lot attacking wise for us yesterday. Like, you see that little runs, taking it past Diouf. He had Diouf in his pocket. He was taking him past him every single time. It was nice just to see him to go a bit more direct rather than coming back, or rather door down on the ball, then someone tackling him in. So listen, he was absolutely fantastic. I think you touched on it earlier, Dad. Let's just hope we see that consistency now moving forward, in the coming weeks now, because again, that's all we all three of us here want him to be a success at Leeds United. We don't want to come on here and slate him. I want him to be I want him to keep that level of performance going. He deserves it as well. He's put in the effort, and fair play to him.
Yeah. Danny says here, Rodon got man of the match from Sky as well, which, yeah, look, I suppose, I think probably if you're looking from an outsider in, you probably look at Rodon and say, yeah, he gets it, but because I think we know Brendan Aronson's level and how much he upped it yesterday, that's why I think he probably gets it from the Leeds fans, because he was fantastic, he was everywhere, and good to see that he is working on that side of the game. He obviously touched on his post-match saying that he has been working on the finishing, he's going to continue working on that finishing, so look, that's all you can do, lads, and in fairness, it's a part of the game, you can improve. It's not like it's one of them things where you just haven't got it, so hopefully he does keep improving on that. Very unlucky obviously with the one off the crossbar as well, but we need more of that, Dylan, don't we, going forward. But yeah, look, again, Dylan, it's the team spirit, it's what we all wanted. This team was obviously questioning before this game, going into it felt like backs against the wall stuff. They answered it, they came out really good performance to get all 3 points against West Ham. But again, it's just tipping it off. Daniel Farke just keeps saying, he keeps looking at that 38-point total, and once we get there, then we'll square it up and see where we are.
It's simply down to rotation, Darren. I think the boys that they came in, Perry, Tanaka, we know what he gives you. You've like even Brendan Aronson just pulling up his socks there. I have to agree with what Jam said there. I just think I'm one of his biggest critics. Definitely, I've been giving him nothing but stick over the last couple of weeks, but I've been 3-4 games. It's just been an improvement after improvement after improvement. But yeah, going back to the rotation thing, for the boys that dig, I don't like using this word, wouldn't necessarily say drop, but rotated from the likes of Pascal Stroke would be all coming in as well. Like, there's a camaraderie around them, and then they're really starting to enjoy the football, and we could see that last night. And it's just everything, Darren. Really, it's Elland Road. It's the hype for the games. They want to be here. I thought about it the other night, if I'm being honest with you, before the lead up to this game, and I was kind of in a slump, going back to the Jesse Marsh days. It just didn't feel like the players wanted to be there. This season, it seems like the players want to be here, and I think that's you can see it, and it's mad when you're just watching the football match. You're not listening to what they have to say or anything like that. You're literally watching a game, and they're giving 110% every single time with every single match. We could talk about Burnley. Obviously, you go back to that game; it was absolutely horrendous. But I mean, there's always 1 or 2 players that are just giving 110%. And to be honest with you, it goes back to the man of the match for me, and I have to give it to Joe Rodon. To simply, I just think he's just so good, man. He's just unbelievable. He just Mr. Consistent, and I love him. But Brendan
10 million,
Aronson,
10 million we paid for him last. 10 million.
yeah,
That's
He's
some.
already
he's
paid them
just
back,
sign.
lads, after the last
Yeah.
2 years. But it's so good, lads, seeing him adding goals to his game, though, isn't it? Because that was literally the only thing. And because he has pace, he can pass the ball, he reads the game very well. He's nearly the complete defender, lads, and adding goal to his game. So I dare say it, lads, if he keeps scoring, you know, we might have a job on hands trying to hold on to him, because I do think he's really good, lads. Really, really good in this Leeds system, man. What impresses me the most a lot about him, lads, it feels like it doesn't matter who goes in there beside him. We've seen him play with Ampadu, Stroke, be all now as well. It feels like it doesn't matter who goes in there beside him. He still just plays his game, and that defense is always seems to be rock solid when he's in there. So yeah, again, Dylan, I have to give it to Brendan Aronson just because of the level of his performance, but I do agree with you. I thought Rodon was fantastic again yesterday. And let's hope, lads, like, you know, we can get 5 or 6 goals out of him this season from headers. Like that's a fantastic return, Jam. And obviously you'll be smiling because obviously the Welsh lad doing that as well. But yeah, it's just so good to see him improving under Daniel Farke massively.
Yeah, I just I think he's brilliant. I'll speak about him all day. I think he's just literally everything he epitomises Leeds United and puts his body on the line. And but the only thing was missing was, you know, scoring from corners. And but again, credit to Longstaff, the quality of crosses that he's putting into the box. I mean, that helps a lot as well. And you know, Rodon really, yeah, he's just. I think he can play in a club higher at the league, which is obviously I don't want to happen. But I feel like he has got a lot of, you know, he can do what he can. But yeah, Rodon, I can't. I could speak again, sit here and wax lyrical about him all day. But yeah, he's that's Welsh ain't that bad, are we? So
yeah,
yeah.
proper leader.
what
Proper
I
leader,
will say about Brendan Aronson, and I'm going to leave it at this, is you will be American boy, American boy. So I'm actually chuffed, to be fair. I'm chuffed. I'm delighted. Because I just feel so bad. I was giving him a lot of stick, so I'm delighted to see that he's really improving.
Yeah, absolutely. Have one here, Dylan, from Eddie Rusty Think Khan says, Dylan, when are we going to see you at Elland Road? You know, 4-year-old Samuel has been to more games than you this season.
True. I'm looking to go to the Liverpool on the 6th of December. Flights are booked.
Just take it now. Just a ticket now for that one. Danny Rumsey says, for 12 million, Longstaff is a sniff first half yesterday. He played like he did against Newcastle. Longstaff was good as well, the lads. Probably the only bad game, I'd say, well, probably off kind of Longstaff game was against Burnley. But again, he upped his levels again yesterday. The midfield were obviously brilliant. Ampadu was class. Tanaka was really good as well, lads. He was very unlucky. He'd won over the bar down at the south stand as well. And yeah, just Tanaka was we obviously have to speak about that a little bit, lads, because obviously it was a change that we were all calling for Stack to come out, Tanaka that came in. But Dillo, he was really good yesterday, Tanaka, and you see the quality he brings to this Leeds side.
It's great. It's just, I just keep saying it, to have that type of player to come on, if someone's not on, like Anton Stack, to bring Tanaka in, I'm happy, really happy. We know what we get from him. He holds up play really well. His movement off the ball is phenomenal. He just makes it look so easy. His dribbling, everything about him. And he brings that to his game as well, as you said, the shooting aspect of it. And I just love him, lads. I really do. I'm like Sean Healy sitting here. I absolutely love it. He just, every time that he's in the midfield, I feel anyway, I don't know about you, you feel more safe and secure with him in there. Because he's no problem doing the dirty work when it needs to be done. He got fouled once, actually. I thought he was going to get injured. I remember seeing that, and I had a little bit
He got a bit of a bang,
a panic. Yeah. I got a panic moment there of it, but it was all good. But yeah, he's just enjoyable to watch. I think he's probably one of the most enjoyable Leeds players to watch anytime that they're playing.
What a replacement to take someone of the quality of Stack off and bring someone of his quality on like that. That's where I think we need to be playing to our strengths a lot more like that, is that where we've obviously recruited in the summer is obviously in the back line and the midfield. So use them quality players that we have there. And now when you have the likes of Dan James, hopefully, again, I probably seem to be saying this week after week, hopefully we can get Willie Nanto back soon as well. So when you get these players back as well, at least it's more options in there. Do we still have the quality that we want scoring goals? No, but I think it's enough there definitely to stay in this division 100% with what we have through that midfield as well. So good. But now, again, Dylan, we said it before, it didn't we, in the match preview, it's going to be up to Stack now to pull up his socks. And and try and get back into this Leeds side again. Does Farke rotate it and get stacked back in for Brighton away? Who knows? But again, this is the headaches that you want as a manager as well, and it all depends on them now in training this week to put the effort in to try and get back into this side for Brighton. So it's exactly what you want to see happening. Get through a couple of the comments here. Danny says, and Darren, what a proud moment it must have been for you yesterday, seeing a smile on Sam's face, brighten up. It was class, Danny. Honest to God, if we could live that day, you could bottle it and sell it, it'd be absolutely priceless. But he was just, unbelievable.
Obviously, I was texting you, Darren, on the side, and you were sending me the photos and the videos. I did call you a name. I can't call you this on live stream because it would be banished off YouTube. But once Darren did send me the photos and the videos, lads, I was sobbing like a little girl, full on. So, even for me to see my nephew, what Darren showed me, becoming a Leeds fan, nothing spectacular, because I was in League One and in the Championship forever. So being in the Premier League and then seeing my nephew go up the stairs, even that video, I have a lump in my throat. So I'm delighted as well there. And I obviously didn't get to say that to you.
Yeah, class. Cheers, Dillo. Russ has one here, Jam. It is an interesting one as well because I heard it as well when I heard Farke saying it. I was like, what's his angle in this one? So Farke's comments after the game, it was a little bit wild. He said the first half performance, he wasn't happy with the first half performance due to us wanting to kind of counter at every chance that we got, and he was kind of a bit annoyed about that. He didn't want that. He wanted that risk averse kind of side of it, Jam. But from Farke to kind of say that, obviously us as fans, we want attacking football, we want the emotion of the games, we want goals. Farke is obviously a coach, he wants structure, he wants stability in the game, but probably Elland Road probably played into that a little bit after the first goal went in, that we were kind of roaring them on, take shots, get forward and stuff like that. But a little bit wild, isn't it, coming from Farke kind of saying so? Don't really know his angle of that, but for me, you have to be encouraging. The first half performance was chalk and cheese to the second half.
Yeah, it's a very strange comment, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, this is the one issue I have with Farke. I mean, he is very risk averse and very sort of set in his ways. But if you can see, this is the thing, that if you can see that the crowd are behind you and you go 1-0 up, then if I was in his shoes, I'd be like, right, come on, we go again now. Let's keep going. Let's keep that pressure on. And I mean. Yeah. That first, there's no way that first half performance, the second half performance was better than that first half performance. It really wasn't. I mean, West Ham I think West Ham in the second half had a breather, and they actually looked like they were on the ball a lot more. And I thought, they look dangerous here. In the first half, like I said before, and earlier in the thing, it could be 4 or 5 now. So very silly comments, really. But yeah, I don't really know what to say on it. I don't think he's right. I don't know what angle he's trying to come out with the comments, but listen, yeah, it's just a bit baffling, really, to be honest. I didn't know about them comments, but I've just seen that Russ brought them up now, and just find them a bit baffling, really. But again,
if we move on to the second half, lads, and the people that did watch me, I was losing my mind because, as I said, this is basically what we done. West Ham held onto the ball. They didn't offer anything. They just knocked it around the back, tried to open us up. We didn't. We sat in. When we did get the ball, they were just running around trying to get the ball like hellish chickens off us with the press that they were given. When we did get it, we just hoof it back to Perry and he'd hoof it up to DCL. And then 9 times out of 10, DCL wasn't getting to it. No fault of his own, don't get me wrong. I just mean he was trying to knock it down and play the players into it, but it just wasn't working. But the second half for me was completely different to the first half. So I don't know where Farke's going with that wild comment, because I thought the first half was spot on. The second half, we sat way more back. It didn't look like getting was... We were going to go for the juggler, as you would always say there. We sat in more after the break. Looked like the plan to me, and it was to protect the lead rather than go chasing the third, which...
You could understand it possibly if it's against the bigger sides, lads, though, couldn't you? Like, if you're playing against the big ones, you got a 2-0 lead, you're absolutely waxing lyrical, you're delighted, and you possibly do go a little bit more secure. But a West Ham side where... you have your foot on their throats. You think you can go for the juggler here, to sit back in the second half. And look, I don't know if it was solely because of the change as well, because we definitely lost a little bit away from Okafor, because Harrison, we've seen it under Bielsa as well. He does like to come a little bit deeper and comes a little bit narrower, especially under Marsh as well, and a couple of the changes. So I don't know if that kind of goes hand in hand with it. So obviously after the game when I was leaving the ground, I was kind of putting it down to that. And then when you heard Farke's comments then saying that he wasn't happy with the first half performance, you're kind of a little bit like, well, you're telling us you wanted to play like that the whole game the way we played in the second half, because if we did, we would have got bet, lads, to be honest with you, and we will get beat against, you know, all the teams in the Premier League we play like that this season. So it's like what Russ says here, like it is a big issue. Like at times I do think he is too defensively minded. Maybe he probably felt a little bit of pressure in that game, you know, for the first time, obviously going into it, because obviously there's questions being asked. So maybe he went into it like a little bit afraid and wanted to be a little bit kind of more mindful and obviously secure the win. But yeah, for me, you want to see attack and flowing football, though, lads. Like it was a great game. It was a great game of football. Two proper English Premier League sides going at it. Atmosphere was class. The banter between both sets of fans was brilliant. Both sets of players were going for it as well. So yeah, I don't agree with Farke. Completely disagree with him with that first half performance. I thought it was brilliant, and I want to see more of that.
To be fair, though, with the second half. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
No, sorry. No, go on. You go, mate. You go.
No, go on. You go ahead. You were in the road there.
No, you go.
No, I just.
You go. No, you hang up. No. You hang up.
I was just going to basically say, like, if you give me the Burnley first Leeds game last week and that game yesterday, you're picking West Ham and Leeds every day of the week. You know, if you've got two video cassette players, you're thinking, right, that one's got Burnley and Leeds, that one's got West Ham. You want entertainment, don't you? Even if, you know, that's the thing as fans. I think Bielsa did spoil us a little bit with the way he played there, but let's be honest, I don't want to be seeing that second half performance throughout the whole 90 minutes every week, because we will, like you said, get beat and we won't have any chance to stay in the league. So, yeah, again, don't really get the comments at all. But again, you want to be entertained as fans. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, ultimately, lads, look at Leeds United get all 3 points. Go ahead, Dillo. Want to say something there?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, to be fair about the second half, like, I'm trying to, I would say my approach, I'm trying to be a bit more positive. I'm trying to new lease of life here on LeedsBros and just be positive. And I think that we, you know, it wasn't a bad thing that we managed quite well for most of the half. The shape that we say stayed solid. We limited West Ham chances. You know, they didn't really offer anything to a whole lot to a certain extent. But just felt like we were trying to be a bit more smarter with the ball.
It didn't need to be that uncomfortable at the end, Dylan, though. Isn't it? Like, that's what it felt like at the very... It didn't need to be that uncomfortable, because how dominant our first half display was warranted the 3 points for the 90 minutes for me. And then the second half, then it didn't have to be that nervous. Now, look, they didn't create too much, obviously, apart from their goal. But obviously, when they get their goal, then anything can happen in football, and you think their tails are up. So it didn't have to come... Like, I think the scoreline probably flatters them a little bit too much, lads. I really do, because in that first half, it could have been 4 or 5 to Leeds, and probably should have been 4 or 5 to Leeds. So when they get their goal back, you're fearing the worst then after a really good performance. Should be taking 3 points. If they nick one, then you're talking about a tournament. So we didn't need to kind of tread that line for me. Like, we should have been home and house. And again, that probably comes down to taking our chances and probably just even pushing up, lads. I'm not saying we have to go, you know, gun ho and go at their throats like the way Bielsa used to be, but it was like we were happy to give them the ball back and let them come and attack us again, instead of like pushing up the line, even trying to keep possession amongst ourselves and let them try and chase it. Keep, you know what I mean? Keep the ball, like, and maybe use our wings a little bit more and like spread the width. We didn't do that. It's like we were happy to be compact and sit in and void them on. And West Ham, it works yesterday, but if you come up against the big boys and they have the quality, you know, to pick pockets and get in behind you or a set piece, you know, that can come back and bite you in the bum. So I don't want to see Farke doing that, but I don't want to rely on the negativities. I think the negativities for that game just has to go out the window, because what was riding on the line for Daniel Farke, the main thing I said it before and I can't change my mind now, was that I would take an absolutely stinking performance and Leeds United taking all 3 points, and we got a good performance and we got all 3 points, and like that's the only thing that matters, Dylan.
100%. Look, that's what I'm saying. Just that being said, you know, I would have liked to see the pressure, or just to not invite them on, you know, with their pressure. But, you know, sometimes you just want to see Leeds go up and just smash teams up. You know, you said it there, the first half, 5-6-0, and then in the second half, then we just seemed like a bit ropey.
Brentford are beating Liverpool 3-1. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But look what Sunderland are doing as well, lads. Like it's kind of, that's just the nature of the Premier League, isn't it? You just don't know, lads. You recruit well. We'll see what happens, obviously, when the AFCON Cup comes up and they'll have a few players going away, and you look forward towards January. Hopefully, Leeds get a few players in. But look, we got the monkey off our back, lads. I'm positive going into this game. Jam, how are you feeling now? Because I know before us three were very nervous going into it. Like, there was a couple of Leeds fans that were positive, there's a couple of Leeds fans that were very, very negative. We were kind of there in the middle going, oh, Jesus, if this goes wrong, you know, our season could tumble. But how are we feeling now?
I tell you what, it was because I've been listening to the Square Ball and someone said on there they haven't won a game under Nuno, and then they just started to jangle, and I thought, oh, he's just said it. No, he's just literally said that
That's the
Nuno hasn't
Leeds,
got a
isn't
win
it?
yet
It's like I was
almost.
thinking.
It's just a little Leeds bit in your head, thinking, ideally we should be looking at this game and winning at home, and that's what we did in the end. But it's just a little niggly feeling in my head that things may have gone wrong, but yeah, you can't. You got to enjoy wins, lads, in this league because they're few and far between. It's our first season. Let's be honest. We might not win for another 3 or 4 games. That's not like the realms of possibility. So yeah, just got to enjoy them. And this is what it's a roller coaster season. So I'm more enthusiastic now because I know that the boys are they all seem together and they all seem to want to fight for each point. And yeah, just that level of performance in the first half, and even the second half. I know it wasn't pretty on the eye, but they're all digging in and all defending well. Every ball in the box, Beal and Rodon cleared up. So yeah, really, really made up for the boys now, and hopefully now we can take it forward to Brighton, and yeah, just be a nice week now, nice positive headspace. Just have a little build up now to the Brighton game and see if we can get anything down it really.
And what Stephen says there, 3 points, all that matters, was absolutely buzzing. I was absolutely shitting. He was before the games. He was very nervous, lad. He was very, very nervous, poor Stephen, before the game. But that puts a 6-point gap, Dylan, between us and Nottingham Forest, who were just inside the relegation zone. Obviously, West Ham staying 19 and Wolves down rock bottom. So a 6-point cushion we have from the relegation zone. But if you look at it on the other side, Dylan, like I'm thinking of Europe, like we're only 3 points off 8th, do you know? Like, so Premier League, Dylan, you just never know. We go down to Brighton and win down there 1-0, you know? We were, European football, here we come.
I'll take the draw, smash Forest, and then go up there and just win the league. Then I think that could be easily done. Could be easily done.
Yeah, absolutely. Rusty Tin Can, so far this season we've not dropped below 1 point per game. If we can keep it up, what we're doing, we'll be all right. And exactly, he did say that. I was speaking to Eddie, met him outside the Peacock car park yesterday, and we were all kind of saying the same thing. Once we stay in that 1 point per game, and give ourselves a little bit of comfort from the relegation zone, that's what I look at as well. Is just keep that gap. That's all we need to do, and then we have our job done. We know we're going to lose games of football this season. We know it's going to be tough. We knew that after the transfer window, but we have to get through it. We have to stick together, Jam, don't we?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we always do as Leeds United. It doesn't matter, that's against the world, and that's the way we like it. This rhetoric of we're everyone's second favourite club before under Bielsa. I thought, no. Let's be one of the most hated teams in the country because that's when we're at our best. Because Dill, you said before, and you Daz, us against the world. That's the right mentality to have, and you can see that they're all together and. Yeah, 100%. We need to keep this going now for the season.
White Snake has it there as well, yeah. Last game of the season, need a point to stay up. It was like, we were all saying a point per game, but no, we want more than a point per game.
I don't.
Going out to the last game. No, but I agree with you, White Snake, yeah. Keep ahead of it, but we're on the right path, absolutely, lads. Lads, look, I think we'll wrap it up and leave it there. Dillo, anything to say before we wrap it up and say goodnight to all these lovely people?
Yeah, just going back to what Jam said there, I want to be hated, like. Just hate us, like stop liking us. We're Leeds fans. It's us against the world. I don't want to.
I think we're getting it back. I think we're getting it back, lads. I think there was a bit of stick flying out between the West Ham fans. Good group past the Peacock yesterday. Obviously going out to the away end, they were singing a couple of songs like "We All Hate Leeds" and all. And little lad was there and I was looking at him and he's kind of looking at me and I was just like, yeah, football's healing. Like we're getting back. We're starting to be hated again. I don't want to be everybody's second team. Like fuck that shit. Like we want to be hated. Though. We want everybody hating. We want to be dirty Leeds scum. And I don't know, it just gets me off. Like say them dirty words. Dirty Leeds scum. I just love it, lads. I love it. Love to be hated.
Amy, you hearing this?
Say them dirty words to me.
Dirty Leeds. Take notes down. Take the notes down. He's on the way.
Right, let's get that's got a bit weird there for a minute. Sorry about that, lads. The Enquiry says up the Leeds, buzzing to get over in December. He's going over for the Liverpool game. Mr. White Snakes did an excellent job on the watch along. Maybe needs to go solo more often. Let's do it. I can sit and kick back and watch the match then. Lovely. Love that, Dylan. Did you hear that? That's going to be signed into the contract now. That's it. You're taking the watch alongs now. Russ says, cheers, gents. Enjoyed it. By the way, I love us being hated. Wouldn't want it any other way. Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. Wouldn't want it any other way. Right, lads, we leave it there. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. And of course, if you're new here, we'd love you to hit that subscribe button again. So mind yourselves, mind each other. We'll catch you in the next one.